Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Tip Tuesday here on the Sales Career Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Hopp. I wanted to tackle something that I had a back and forth with a fellow sales consultant trainer. He says that on a cold call, when cold calling someone that you've never met, never talked to before, it's a bad idea to use a permission-based opener. Now, what's a permission-based opener? This is something you can take to the bank. This is something you can take right to your cold calling that you're doing today, tomorrow. Test it out and see what works best for you. Now, so here's what I'm trying to say. I teach all my reps to use permission-based openers. What's a permission-based opener? Permission-based opener is, hey, I know I'm an interruption. Do you have 30 seconds for me to tell you why I called? We have never spoken before. This is a cold call. Are you willing to roll the dice? What's another one? Hey, I know I'm calling out of the blue. Do you have 27 seconds? I could tell you exactly what this call is about. Permission-based openers ask for a cold prospect's permission to even have a conversation. Here's why I advocate for it, and I'll even tell you why people advocate against it, okay? I advocate for it because I saw a phenomenon when I was dialing. Keep in mind, for the entire year of 2019, I was a cold calling consultant, which means that I was cold calling 4 to 5 hours a day, all day on an auto dialer, hundreds of thousands of dials. I noticed a phenomenon where folks would let me start talking, and then if I didn't ask for permission, I just dove into the pitch. I would get, let's say 2 lines into my pitch, and they would stop me and say, I'm not interested, thanks, bye. Take me off your list, bye. And it happened a lot. And I started noticing that, whether I was selling to IT people, HR people, executives, there's the same sort of thing where I thought to myself, the problem with most of these is not that they're not interested. They obviously didn't have a conversation with me. I didn't get through my whole pitch. We didn't even, pose the big question or do anything interesting like that. Why are they doing this? Well, they're busy. This wasn't the right time to have a cool conversation. Now, this really got solidified for me the further on I get in my career, and as the CEO of Hop Consulting Group, I get called on from time again, right? I'm now a buyer of things. Not a giant buyer of things by any means, but I'm definitely a buyer for solutions. And when reps call me, and I will answer the phone, I will. When they call me, I have the same 2 things that every single person on the planet wants to know. Who are you? Why are you calling me? Who are you, and why are you calling me? Did I ask for this call? It's human nature. Every single person ever is thinking, who are you and why are you calling me when an unknown number calls? And I would ask somebody, hey, yeah, who is this? Where are you calling from? And then most of the time, it's some technology that I know about, because there's a bunch of different types of buyers out there, but there are guys like me who are millennials, super tech savvy, very involved. And most of the time I've been cold called, it's from a solution or a company or a product that I sort of know about. And I say, hey, I know all about you guys. I'm good for now. I can't talk. And I hang up the phone. And I realized that even myself, I don't give cold callers the time of day necessarily when it's something that I've already understood. Like, I understand what Zoom Communications does when someone cold calls me about it, okay? I don't need to talk about that. I have Zoom today. I think they were trying to get me to upgrade my plan or something. It was weird. And I was like, guys, I know Zoom. I don't want to talk about Zoom right now. Goodbye. Right? The same thing, but on a bigger level. Imagine if you're an executive at a company and I don't have employees. Imagine if you have 100 employees below you and someone calls you and you're like, hello? Yeah, who is this? What is this about? And you say, yeah, look, I will tell you. I will give you the keys to the castle. I'll give you everything you want, which is to know, why are you calling? But I want to make sure that it's going to lead to a conversation, because if it's not the right time, I'll come back another day. So I advocate, and I put in all my scripts, teach all my reps, BDRs, SDRs I work with. Hey, this is Kevin with Hop Consulting Group. How you doing today? I'm good. Who is this? Yeah. It's Kevin with Hop Consulting Group. Look, I know that I'm an interruption to your day. Did I catch you with 30 seconds to have a conversation? And after that, if they say, nope, bad time, nope, about to walk into a meeting, I've got exactly 30 seconds, or something snarky where they're just going to tell you off at the end, kindly, politely say, look, sounds like right now is not a good time. I'll call you back another time, and hang up the phone as fast as possible. Boom. Sort of hanging up on them, but it's a very clear exchange. It's very short exchange. They won't remember when you call back a few days later, right? If they say things like, depends on what this is about, or maybe, where did you say you're calling from again? These are good things. Okay, those are good keys. Rarely, probably about 50% of the time, they'll say, yeah, I got a minute. Go ahead. But the other probably 30% of the time, they're saying things like, it depends on what it's about. Or what is this? And then their brain is in a very, very curious state. We can take advantage of that. If you have a really well honed in pitch that talks about business problems and valuable solutions, perfect time to groove that in right there. Drop that. Get them going like this. I don't know. Do I have that challenge solved? Perfect. Now, the other 20%, right? So 50% of the time, they say they can't talk, or they say they do have a time. 30% of the time, they say something that sounds similar, but I'm telling you right now that means that they can talk. And the last 20% of the time is when they say they can't talk. And they're like, no, busy, blah, 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 right? That's what I find, largely over making a lot of calls, managing a lot of reps right now that call fractionally. So the reason that people advocate against it is because they think that folks will take every chance to not have a cold call. Right? If I call and ask you, do you want to have a cold call right now? The answer for a lot of people is no. So that's why I don't advocate for saying it's a cold call. There's a well-known guy. This guy was on my podcast, Ronen Pessar. Shout out. If you follow him on LinkedIn, you know who I'm talking about. Go follow him. If not, Ronen Pessar, Pessar. He advocates for telling someone immediately it's a cold call. Hey, this is a cold call. Do you want to roll the dice and find out what it's about? Now, I don't know if I like that, okay? I don't know if telling someone that it's a cold call right away, because for me, that would irk me. And I would be like, I don't want to do a cold call right now. So the way that I teach cold calling is that cold calling is a business conversation. Business conversation between two business-minded people about problems and solutions, right? I want to pitch it that way. I don't want it to be a cold call. Cold call is still a dirty word. And I don't like that it's a dirty word because obviously I do it, teach it, I'm all about it. But all right, don't want this to go any longer. Want this to be a tip that you can quickly take to action. Ask somebody for permission. Acknowledge the number one problem that they have at that moment in their life, which is they pick up the phone from a number they don't recognize and they don't know who you are or why you're calling. Hey, I know I'm an interruption. Do you have 30 seconds? I'll tell you exactly why I called. Get their brain leaning forward. Cheers, everybody. Have a great Tuesday.